GSB, the official banking partner of the CSGA, the only bank you'll ever need. Visit mygsb.bank for more information. On our latest installment of My Connecticut Women's Open Victory, as we celebrate the 25th anniversary of the event, we are excited to be joined by three-time winner and current LPGA Tour star Megan Khang. We are talking with Megan, the winner of the 2012, 2013, and 2015 Connecticut Women's Open, one day after she finished tied for 14th at the Mizuho Americas Open. Megan, thank you for taking some time to talk with us and look back at your Connecticut Open victories.
No, thank you for having me. It's definitely a memory that I have since I was little. I honestly didn't realize that I won it three times. So thank you for reminding me. I think I have the worst memory. Um, but I mean, definitely my first win definitely sticks out to me. In 2012, it's quite the win. I believe it was that year.
Yeah, your first one was in 2012. You became the youngest to ever win the championship. You were 14 years old, a freshman at Rockland High School. What stands out to you from that victory?
Yeah, so funny story is my dad and I would drive down to Connecticut every time, and I was playing, I think TaylorMade balls at the time. For some reason, I kept going back and forth between TaylorMade and Titleist, and we forgot to pack golf balls, and we went to the golf course, and we went to the pro shop, and we're like, can we buy a sleeve of golf balls? And as an amateur, like you couldn't win prize money, and so the head pro was like, oh yeah, we'll just take it out of your credit after the round where players get credit, like we'll just pay. And he's like, it's fine, you'll be fine. And so funny enough, I ended up playing relatively well, and I believe my dad was caddying for me, and I want to say it's on like the 18th hole was a par three, and all I had to do was I think two putt to either put the pressure on one of the ladies to either birdie or either in the group or the group behind me. And it was super funny because the competitor in me was like, I'm gonna make birdie to win. And I rammed it by the hole. And my dad looked at me like, I told you just to two putt. And I'm like, it's fine. I'll make the comebacker. 14 years old, there's no trauma, no repercussions. You're like, I'm just playing. And it went by 6 feet. And then I made the comebacker. And my dad just goes, next time, can you just, lag it up there? Um, but it was super funny because she had already parred the hole. So I literally all I had to do was two putt, but I just took the hard way out, more stressful way out.
That's one thing I was going to ask you. Obviously you were 14 years old when you won your first one in 2012, and then you won your last one in 2015. Do you remember how your game matured or how your game changed during that window?
Definitely. I think, as I got a little older, I probably learned that you can't be so aggressive with everything. Um, being young, you just don't really think too much about, what could happen. You just kind of think of like, I can pull it off, which is great in certain situations. But, now that I am older, I look back and I'm like, wow, like I kind of wish I still played like my younger self, but at the same time, I feel like my game's kind of getting a little more rounded in the sense of learning to be aggressive in certain situations and, you know, learning how to step off the gas when need be.
You've played on three Solheim Cup teams. You've had a lot of success in majors. When you look back at your Connecticut Women's Open victories, how important were they in your career development, and how have they helped your career overall?
Playing like the Connecticut Women's Open, it was just kind of the first time where, it wasn't quite like a US Women's Open or the LPGA, but it was kind of like a stepping stone for me to learn how to play with the pros and, playing with women a lot more experienced than I was. Being 14, 15, the first couple times, it was definitely intimidating, but at the same time, it's where you kind of have to rise up to the occasion and be like, all right, at the end of the day, like it's just golf. We're trying to compete against the golf course. And I think it helped me mentally kind of prepare of, what it was going to be like being 18 going on to the tour. And so just kind of learning how to win in that situation as well definitely taught me a lot about myself and what I'm capable of doing from a young age. And so that alone gave me some confidence and just kind of kept feeding off of that into my professional career.
As you look back at your three wins, 2012, 2013, and 2015, I know you mentioned forgetting golf balls the first time you won, but are there any shots or moments or just anything that stands out from those wins that you look back on now fondly?
I got to go back to that first one. I mean, my dad and I didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into. I was 14 years old. We thought it would be really cool to play in the Connecticut Women's Open. We knew about the Massachusetts one, but we had always heard that Connecticut was kind of a little bigger when it came to field and a little bit more had a little more strength to it. Not to knock anything to Massachusetts, but I think it was just kind of a little more central for like kind of like the New York crowd and stuff like that. Um, but for the most part, I remember playing against like an LPGA pro at the time, and it was pretty cool to see that an LPGA pro would come play in like a state open. Um, and so that was just kind of a huge moment for me where like, okay, yes, she's on tour, but like we're playing in the same tournament. So like at the end of the day, we're just gonna try to play our best to do what we can and what we can control, and try not to get a little too starstruck while we're at it. But just kind of, I want to say Clinton, Connecticut, the last one was a par three, but just kind of being able to kind of step up to the plate, knowing that like I had a one shot lead, I had to put the pressure on, had to hit the green and kind of force my playing competitor to hit one in tight. And so knowing that I could do that at a young age definitely gave me the confidence.
Talking with Megan Khang, winner of 3 Connecticut Women's Opens. Megan, I'll get you out on this one. Obviously, a lot of young girls play golf. What advice would you give them if they're looking to play on the LPGA Tour? What kind of advice would you give your younger self, knowing what you know now?
I would definitely say like challenge yourself because, it would be great, if you could be dominant in your kind of like junior golf career, but like, push yourself to try to qualify for US Women's Open, US Girls, play in state opens. You'll never know who you're going to meet or like who's going to show up to compete and play. You can just learn so much. And, I'm a very outgoing person. And like as a kid, my dad always told me like the worst they could say is no. And so, ask questions. We're all pretty nice out here on tour, and I'm pretty sure any fellow competitor you're playing with, as long as you're kind of polite about it and you go about it the right way, we're all more than happy to answer questions because, we've all been there. We're all chasing a dream, and me personally, it's great to see the younger generation kind of yeah really pursuing the game of golf, and golf is cool again, and it's really fun to see that it's not really a quote unquote like old person sport anymore.
She has been Megan Khang, winner of 3 Connecticut Women's Opens, 2012, 2013, and 2015. Megan, thanks for reminiscing a bit with us, and good luck the rest of your LPGA Tour season.
No, thank you so much for having me, Sam.